everybody. My name is Nathalie, and I work with client services with the City of Toronto, Parks, Forestry, and Recreation Division. Part of my role with the city is to work with Animating Toronto Parks. I was very lucky to start last year, and I'm extremely excited to start another year of this amazing program. Part of my role is to be your city contact and to assist and move you through the park's permit process, as well as policies, procedures, bylaws, and to get your final permit. I would be the contact that you would send your completed application form and review your request. I would communicate with the park supervisor for approval of your request. And once we receive that approval and it's granted from the park supervisor, I would put together the letter of conditions that is sent to you outlining all the steps that are required to be completed before we issue your final permit. The permit process starts with the submission of the completed application. So I'm going to show you the steps. So please complete an application form, and once it's submitted to me, I will then review your application form, and please also include a site map indicating the locations of the park that you are requesting to activate and use. This is to indicate to the park supervisor where in the park you want to set up and provide them with all the details of your event so they know exactly what is being requested and they can provide feedback and approval based on the information you have provided on this application. Once we receive your application, I review it and I send it to the park supervisor for approval and review. Once it's approved, we put together what our office calls the letter of conditions, and it's also referred to as a permit notice. And that is what shows the Toronto Arts Foundation that you have received approval from Parks and your request has now moved on to conditional approval to move forward with your event. This letter indicates exactly what you need to do in order to receive the final permit. Please ensure you make sure that you read that letter and review all the requirements listed on the document, as these must be submitted to me directly and reviewed on the letter. And these documents must be submitted before we issue your final permit. So please, I can't emphasize enough, please review the letter and all required documents that are submitted. Once you review the letter, you'll be able to provide these requirements and adhere to the policy information that is listed on the letter. At this point, you should know you will be ready to be prepared for your special event and start date. Okay, so completing the special event application form. Application must outline in as much detail as possible what exactly your event consists of. So please include everything up front. And even if it is something that you're unsure if you will be including it into your event, please just include it anyways, as it's easier for us to approve all the information ahead of time. And we can always remove it if you no longer want to move forward with it as a component in your event. It's a lot easier to remove the request than to add it into your requirements later on. Some of the requirements have a longer processing time, and it is a lot harder to add additional aspects to the event after we receive approval for the initial request. Please ensure you include all the rain dates, rehearsal dates, or set up takedown dates into your application. If you have alternative dates, please also provide this as well. These dates and times need to be indicated on the application so we can avoid any conflicts that may arise within booking a park space, and we want to make sure these dates and times are secured for your event to avoid any conflicts. These dates are really important, and if they can be provided as early as possible so we can have these dates in place. Like I previously mentioned, please indicate exactly where you're going to be activating within the park on the site map. This includes the place in the park you're going to be having any installations, tents, structures, stages, inflatables. Please also include if they will be staked or pegged into the ground. Will the structure be freestanding? Will there be a stage? If there is a stage, will it be mobile or will it be built in the park? Please specify the dimensions of any installations you will be including. Are you going to be including any portable washrooms? If so, how many? Sound amplification. Will you have any amplified sound or performance of any kind? And please ensure you inform us of this. It can be live music, recorded music, live amplified music. What time will you have the sound amplification? Please indicate that as well on the application form. Will you also be requesting to use hydro? And if so, please indicate that. Or will you be providing a portable generator? Please make sure you mention that as well. Will you be having any food or drinks at your event? Having any vendors? What activities will you be having in the park? What type of activities are they and what time will they be running? All aspects of the event you may also submit with the application. And if you need to attach an actual Word document to provide any additional details or schedules of the event, please feel free to do that. I know there is some space on the application, but it is pretty limited. So we will definitely accept an application, sitemap, and any additional documents with that application form. If you're having any ongoing performances and dates, please ensure you provide those as well. Okay, and this is going through some of the components that you may be including in your events. When you're looking to host an event in the park and when you add in the components to your event, it may require additional steps through other divisions. And this slide shows an example of some things that you may want to include in your events and then what some of the timelines that are required for that component. It is very important to read again the letter of conditions that is sent to you after we receive approval, because some of the requirements have a longer time frame. It can be an 8-week timeline to process these requests within the other divisions, as these are not put in place by Parks, Forestry, and Recreation. These are overseen by other divisions such as municipal licensing and standards or public health. And it is really important to have that paperwork submitted within their timeline that they require, because sometimes we as parks are unable to assist with pushing that timeline. So we need to make sure that we are abiding by the other divisions' timelines. And that means that we provide an overview of the component and the timeline and how long it takes. And if, for example, if you're going to have any installations of large tents or stages, you may be required to connect with building permits office. And this can take up to 8 weeks to have that approval. Public health can take up to 4 weeks for approval. Noise exemption requests and permits, they're usually up to 8 weeks for approval. So please ensure you read your letter so you can be within that processing timeline, as we do not want to remove any component because it's not done in time. And this lists all the items that may be listed on your letter, and including the information on the letter of who you need to contact and how you need to achieve that requirement. Once you receive that requirement, you would submit it to me directly. It also mentions the staking and pegging. That is definitely something that would take a longer time frame. So you must submit your locate request with Ontario One Call, and park staff will need to be required. This is a timely process, and we do not, again, want to remove any component due to it not being submitted in time. This is my contact information for you to contact me in the event that you have any questions. You are always welcome to contact me either by phone or email, and we can always discuss further. I'm also happy to set up a meeting in time to help assist you. If you have any questions in regards to your letter of conditions and connecting with the other divisions, I'm always here. Please feel free to reach out to me at any time. I look forward to assisting with your events. Thank you. Take care. Bye.